So within the next 2 hours, I've taught my last class at my current job. From there, I'm going to hop in my car, and I'm going on a road trip for a couple of days. There's two main reasons why I'm doing this. The first one being is that once I come back, I'm starting my own business as an independent personal trainer. And from there on out, I'm my own boss. I determine my own success. And there's certain ways I want to grow. And there's certain ideas I want to figure out how to roll out strategically to you guys. So I want to take the time to isolate myself away from distractions, and I can figure out how to roll it out. The second reason being is I've realized over the years I've never had anything that's truly my own. I've done family trips before, I've done friendships before, but I think I find ways to never be alone, because for me that's the hardest thing to do as an extrovert. So for better or for worse, I'm going to go on this road trip alone to a couple national parks and camp out along the way. And I imagine there'll be times where I'm lonely and I want someone. And there'll be times where I'm so happy I want to share that moment with someone. But I think it's best for me to be able to handle things by my own, because from here on out, I'm my boss, and I need to handle things on my own. So I'm going to document the process along the way. So enjoy it, guys. Before I took this road trip, I was thinking to myself, why don't you go on more road trips, Billy? You have a Subaru, you have the Weekend Warrior, you're all set to go. And then it occurred to me halfway through this drive that it takes 10 hours to get out of Texas. And so my first day on the way to Carlsbad Caverns is just 8 hours of driving. And so here I am, which I'm okay with. I got a couple audiobooks to get through, I got some songs I can get through.
The alchemist smiled. The wind approached the boy and touched his face. It knew of the boy.
Walk onto my door, then we kissed a little more.
But then, I remember last time when I took my first road trip to Big Bend, Texas, with a couple of college friends. We were in my Hyundai, and we started to get low on gas. And instead of pulling over at this gas station I saw, I'm so stubborn, I thought to myself, we're going to drive through it and hit the next one. And of course, we almost didn't make it because we're running low on gas. And so we had to turn off in this little town called Iran, Texas. And now I'm making the same drive across Texas, and I'm still just as stubborn as I was when I was in college. And I'm still running out of gas, and I still had to turn around and go to Iran, Texas to get more gas. So 5 years later, same person, just as stubborn, but it's brought me back to Iran, Texas. So I only plan on staying in a hotel, I think twice this whole trip, so the only reason being is Carlsbad Caverns doesn't have campsites for some reason, because I guess it's only a cave. And Santa Fe, that's my halfway point between Colorado. So I'm gonna try and take advantage of these hotels while I can, get some free breakfast, and shower while I can. Alright, so on this trip I don't plan on working out that much besides taking a couple hikes, but the hotel I'm staying at right now has a perfect pool that no one's in right now, so I'm gonna try and take advantage of that, get a couple laps in before I head out to Carlsbad Caverns. cave is absolutely huge. I mean, right when you walked in, it just takes your breath away. You feel like you're on a different planet. I did the whole hike, not too bad, only like a 3-4 mile hike. But I think I must be the only one in this entire cave. I got here 8 in the morning, right when it opened, and I haven't seen a single person here since. And so the entire hike through was just dead silence. It's a cool feeling to have. So now I'm just sitting down, enjoying the silence, and I'll probably hike back up pretty soon. So I'm still the only one I've seen in this cave, and it's still dead quiet everywhere. And the only thing I can think about is the first people who had to explore this cave with just a candlestick, and what they must have had to go through, and how scared they must have been. Maybe not, because I've seen a lot of cave movies they probably haven't seen growing up, so that kind of scarred my view of cave exploration. But this is the first cave where I feel like I'm on a different planet, and it is absolutely breathtaking. So my biggest tips for Carlsbad Caverns, if it's the first time going there, is make sure you get there early, right when the park opens. Because I can't imagine trying to enjoy that cave when there's hordes of people all around you, because the path is only like 4 feet wide. So you're shoulder to shoulder with people, you have nowhere to go. But when I was the only one in there, I could do whatever I want. I could sit down and enjoy the silence, and I could just sit in there and take in the moment of how immensely huge this cave is. Other piece of advice is, if you're the adventurous type, the self-guided tour is not going to do it for you. You know, it's paved, there's handrails the whole way, it's well lit. It's cool to see, but it didn't feel like an adventure for me. It felt like I was just kind of taking a leisure stroll. So, if you're the adventurous type, book ahead of time. Check the schedule so for when they do the more hard hikes, like Slaughter Cave, and do those. Because otherwise, you'll be like me, you'll take like a leisure stroll through, and you'll still enjoy it, trust me, but it won't be that adventure you're seeking. The last piece of advice I can give is, just make sure you take in the moment. You'd be tempted to walk through the trail as fast as possible to get to the end, but just make sure you really sit back and enjoy it, because that was unlike any experience I've ever had. I've never seen a cave that huge before, or that quiet. So, I highly encourage Carlsbad Cavern in the National Park. It's an experience unlike any other I had before. So, after I hiked Mesa Verde, it ended up storming. So, my crank round was completely soaked. So, I decided to pick up and drive all the way 2 hours to Canyonlands National Park. And I got here and I was so tired, I just passed out in my car. I didn't even set my tent. And so now I'm up bright and early at 6 in the morning. I'm going to do the main hike here, Mesa Arch. It's only 0.5 miles. And then I'm going to try to hike Arches National Park. And then drive all the way to Bryce Canyon. So, we'll see how far. Finished hiking Delicate Arch in Arches National Park. I finally got to see the arch that's in all those famous pictures, and honestly it was cool to see, but I feel like just driving around Utah in general is just as breathtaking as just seeing that little arch. It's not as big as I thought it'd be in person, and I think that what took away from the moment was that it was crowded. The whole path was shoulder to shoulder. So if Arches National Park is like this, I can only imagine how bad Bryce Canyon is going to be, and I can only imagine how bad Zion's going to be. So I'm heading over to Bryce Canyon right now. We'll see if I can find a camping spot, or I might just have to rough it out in my car again. So it's like 6 in the morning right now. I actually slept surprisingly well. And we're gonna make some breakfast. We're gonna go on a hike, and then we're gonna head out to Great Basin National Park for breakfast. Bacon, cheese, eggs, bread, and Moonshine Sweet Tea. guys, here I am at the base of Wheeler Peak. It's about like an 8-mile hike to 13,000 feet, and that should be no problem. The only downside is though, is being chased by a storm right now. They say it's pretty windy and pretty lightning-y up there, so I'm gonna try to beat the storm up there and hopefully beat it back down, but we'll see. So that's where I gotta go, and that's what's chasing me right now. Well, I think I'm close. I'm definitely over the tree line. I had to come up this, was basically a straight incline the whole way up. So that kicked my ass. And now I have that to go, I hope. Well, I made it, guys. God, guys, that was a pain in the ass hike. But now that I'm up here, it's relaxing. So, I'm just gonna sit down, have lunch, and just relax. Since I'm all alone at 13,000 feet in the air, this is something I've always wanted to try. So the entire time I'm trying to look around me and take in the beauty of this scenery, but every time I look away, I almost roll my ankle because the ground is nothing but pebbles I'm kicking around. It's not even a path. It's just like someone spilled gravel here and said that's good enough. So every step, I'm getting closer and closer to rolling my ankle, just like that. But I'm close. I just gotta go all the way down there, and then all the way down there. Alright, so I just got to Zion, and this place is absolutely packed. I heard in summertime it gets packed, but for some reason it didn't click to me, so I came here anyways. And thankfully I was able to get the last spot available at the campsite. So, fate is on my side for now. You know, as I sit here too, this reminds me of the last time I came to Zion. I was with my college buddies. We came during winter time, when no one was here. Found a perfect campsite, clear skies, perfect night, s'mores and all. Went to sleep. Halfway through the night, woke up. Our tent was flooded. What do? We all scoot a little closer. We're too lazy to get out of the tent. Go back to sleep. Wake up 5 minutes later. Tent's even more flooded. We get even closer. Then finally, one of our friends gives up, goes inside the car first. Then we all slowly but surely, we all go inside the car. We pack the tent up in the rain, put it away soaking wet, and drive off and call the road trip quits. But for some reason, Zion and I do not get along. But I'm more stubborn now, so I'm gonna wait it out. Heading towards the Grand Canyon. And on the way, I don't know how I didn't remember this, but Antelope Canyon is there, and also the Horseshoe Bend. And I've always seen pictures of those, but never actually been there before. So I see a sign for it out of nowhere, so I had to pull over, and it's a quick mile hike to the Horseshoe Bend. So that's pretty cool to see. And I can only imagine how packed the Grand Canyon is going to be, because Bryce was packed and Zion was packed. So I don't know how I got camping at those sites, but if I'm still going to continue just as lucky in this trip, maybe I'll get a site at the Grand Canyon. You know, when I came to the Grand Canyon, I didn't think I'd have any alone time. But if you go off the trail far enough, and you go close to an edge far enough, you can find that one spot, and you get the whole canyon to yourself. And I was just sitting here reflecting on the whole trip. You know, it was like living out a self-help book. Each national park taught me a new thing. And to end it with this view, I wouldn't have it any other way. After this, I get in my car, drive straight home, and I start my new life. But I will never forget this spot and this moment.